I'm repeating myself, and you probably already know, but I do love 3D printing. But 3D printing can be really annoying, sometimes. You try to print, and you have issues, and you are trying to pinpoint where the issues are. You disassemble the hot end, you clean it out, you check the extruder, you do the flow calibrations, and still you're having issues with your print. Maybe the issue is not mechanical. Maybe it's actually your filament. Today we are going to look at GratKit FireFly Filament Drayer. We'll start in a couple of seconds. I've been battling with the filament humidity for some time. Of course, I'm not that long in 3D printing, I'm only 5 years so far, but I really have been fighting with it. First thing I bought for my filament was the big IKEA box that fits 5 filaments inside. But the problem is that that box doesn't seal that well. Then I started playing with the Voron and the ERCF. And ERCF brought its own issues. Because of that, I needed to buy different boxes from IKEA, print a lot of parts, buy some bearings, etc, and I assembled, if I'm not mistaken, in Rage Rabbit Carrot Patch or something similar. Plus, I also added the humidity and temperature Zigbee sensor in each of the boxes, and that way I can see the temperature and humidity in each of the filament boxes. But the problem is, what happens with the filament if it's already wet? And by some miracle, when GratKit sent me their FireFly Filament Dryer system, at the same time I started assembling and reassembling my current Voron. One of the things you have to do when you completely reassemble and rebuild the hot end, the stealth burner hot end and everything, yes, you have to do the calibration. And I was having issues with the calibration. I was repeating and there was no way for me to fine-tune the flow. I tried everything, then I just stopped, looked at the hot end, and this is what I've seen. Yes, the filament does flow, but you may not hear it because of the fans. Actually, you can hear the bubbling and sizzling inside. The problem is wet filament. Because wet filament, when it dries in the hot end, it produces steam, it produces bubbles, and you have uneven extrusion. There can be potential stops, pops, it can speed out, slow down, there is no consistent flow of the filament. So what can you do to fix that? There are actually two ways on fixing it. One way of avoiding any potential issues with the filament is by the help of today's video sponsor, and that is PCBWay. While most of you know and relate PCBWay to PCB prototyping and also PCB assembly, PCBWay is much more. Not only can you get all your PCB boards with them, no matter if they are normal, standard or flexible, but you can also go for the CNC, 3D printing, sheet metal fabrication and injection molding. That way, you will not have any issues with your own filament. No, you will just send project files, no matter if it's milling, FDM, SLA, SLS, laser cutting, bending or rapid tooling multi-cavity molds. All that can be done thanks to PCBWay. But besides PCBs, CNCs, milling, injection molding or similar, you can also find ready-made projects and search through very large database, for example for Arduino projects, and then order PCBs or already assembled projects directly from the PCBWay. And for the second option, you can use something like a filament dryer. But what makes GratKit FireFly Filament Dryer different than the others? That's the only reason why I accepted yet another filament dryer to do review on my channel. No, it's not that it can go up to 70 degrees, which a lot of other filament dryers couldn't do at the time when I received it. No, it's also not that you can play with the LEDs. And no, it's not that it supports a lot of filaments out of box. The reason I went for the review because this one is a smart filament dryer. Yes, there are a lot of things today on the market that people call smart products. And this one is and isn't same. Why it isn't? Because yes, you can hook it up to the Tuya SmartLife app and you can control the drying procedure, you can select the filament, temperature, the longevity or the length of the drying process, etc through the Tuya SmartLife app. And because you can do it in Tuya, yes, you can also add it to Home Assistant. But we will talk about it later in the video. So what's so special about the GratKit FireFly Filament Dryer? I've already mentioned that the maximum temperature is 70 degrees. That means that depending on the filament you are trying to dry in the filament dryer, you can set up the temperature. Either use the presets, and there are a lot of presets: PLA, PLA+, PTG, ABS, nylon, PC or polycarbon, HIPS, TPU, and 2 other DIY settings. That means that out of box you are covered with all the typical filaments that you would ever print in your home. And yes, no matter if you're using something like a Creality open bed slinker printer or even using Bamboo Lab, which does have some kind of a dry box on top. No, that's not an active dry box, that's just box that is trying to prevent humidity of coming inside the box itself. And how well it does the job? Well, it depends on where you live. The second component or active component that this device has is the air heat circulation system. It does have internal fan, so when the heater does heat up, the fan starts the air circulation and it helps with the even distribution of the heat and also even filament drying. But I did notice one thing: if you, for example, insert the ABS inside the box and start the ABS drying procedure, I think it takes 5 or 6 hours midway during the drying procedure. If you then open the box, turn the filament 180 degrees, close the box, you will once again see difference in the internal humidity, because yes, it also gives you the value of what's the current humidity inside the box. That means that although there is a fan inside the box, it may not be working best if you are using full 1 kg spools. If the spools were not 100% full, maybe the air could circulate better. I've already mentioned the Tuya app, and we will look at the app in a couple of seconds, plus the RGB ambient light. While you can select the individual colors, you can also select something like rainbow mode, where the colors change through the time. I did mention preset. Each preset has 2 settings. One of the settings is the temperature and the other one is the time. So depending on the filament type you're trying to dry, the time will be either shorter or longer, and also temperature will be lower or higher. So far I've tested this with 2 types of filament, and it works awesome. One of the filaments I tried was the ABS from Polymaker, the one that I was having issues while testing or setting up my printer, and after 6 hours the filament was really dry and it printed perfectly. The other type of the filament I've tested is the PLA. I've dried the eSun Fire Engine Red PLA that was outside for very long time. I even had to dust it because it had so much dust on it. It was just sitting on the shelf, I think, for 2 years, open and not inside the bag. There is also one nice functionality, and that is the tilt sensor inside the box. If you, for example, trip the box over to prevent fire hazard or something similar, after it is tilted more than 45 degrees, the box will beep and stop the heating process. Setup and install is very easy. You just have to get it out of the box, install 2 bearings, install the spool holder and hook it up to the power. That's it. Installing with the SmartLife app is also very easy. All you need to do is, of course, have the SmartLife app already installed, hook the device up to the power, it will beep and turn on. Then inside the SmartLife app, if it doesn't already show you that there is a new device that was found, you click on plus and then add the device. At that point, SmartLife should share credentials from your Wi-Fi network to this device, and your device will be connected to your Wi-Fi network. In the app itself, you can control the lights, turn them on off, change color or effects. You can choose between presets for the types of the filament. You can start, stop it, you can see the current temperature and humidity inside the box. Overall, you can do everything that you can do actually on the device itself. And it's very good because this way you can, while not sitting near the dryer itself, see what is the current remaining time for drying your filament. I mentioned Home Assistant because, yeah, if the device is smart, I want to have it inside Home Assistant. Although I do know that most people use Wi-Fi network and that not a lot of people are using Zigbee network, I would still prefer it if this device would have been a Zigbee device and not the Wi-Fi device. And you may be wondering why. The problem is the Tuya. Tuya is good on one side if you're using the closed Tuya ecosystem, but hooking devices up to Home Assistant can be sometimes an issue. Couple of months ago, a new Tuya integration has been introduced to Home Assistant, and now instead of requiring you to have developer accounts, if you have a SmartLife app, you can connect your SmartLife with Home Assistant, exchange codes, and all the devices that you already have inside the Tuya SmartLife app will be also pulled to Home Assistant. But the problem with that is that not a lot of devices are supported. And when I say not a lot of devices, yeah, sure, all the switches, lights, temperature sensors, etc., they are supported. But some obscure devices, such as, for example, this fish feeder that you are seeing here, or this GratKit FireFly version 2 filament dryer that we are testing here today, well, they are not supported or they are partially supported. And in my opinion, this is such a waste. If we click on it and look at the entities that we have in Home Assistant, we only have two of them. One is the sensor for the temperature. We actually don't even have humidity notification or sensor inside Home Assistant. And the other one is option to turn it on and off. And this is such a waste. Sure, somebody can create custom converters for Tuya Local or Local Tuya. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to do so because my current developer account at Tuya has expired and I simply didn't want to try and ask for renewal once again. But if anybody has time and will, you can create custom converter and get all of the functionality that is currently inside the SmartLife app also inside Home Assistant. That way, from Home Assistant you would be able to select presets, start, stop, see the time, see the humidity, see the preset temperature, the current temperature and all the other data, plus of course control of the LEDs inside the box. The question is, what is my verdict on the device itself? And I will be biased here. Biased because I love devices that you can hook up to smart homes. Since you can hook up this device to smart home, and I really would love to have all of the functionality that I already have inside the Tuya SmartLife app that I'm not using except for video recording, also in my Home Assistant. And not just these two options, one is to see the current temperature and the other one is to turn the device on and also off. What is my verdict? I really do like this device. I like gimmicks, I like gadgets, I like stuff that you can hook up to smart homes, to your apps, see how it works. And on the other hand, this device also does what it tells it will do, and that is dry the filament. In terms of build quality, the lid does feel a bit flimsy. On the back side, you have exit for a filament that just doesn't feel natural. It looks like filament path is a bit curved or not curved enough for it to get out. But then again, it works. You can print directly from the box or you can use it just as a drying mechanism. So when you dry the filament, you put it somewhere else in the dry box or something similar. If you look at the price, that is 60 euros, the price is also okay. It's not too cheap, but it's also not too expensive. But I also have to warn you, remember, this is same as any 3D printer device that produces heat. And all the devices that have heaters inside are potentially fire hazards. I didn't have any issue in the last 2.5–3 months of testing or something similar, but you may have. In theory, you can try and build something on your own, or you can go the other way and do what other people do. Use, for example, your oven to heat the filament. But the difference in the energy used by this dryer and your oven are big. This one is still more economical. So if you are looking for a device that can also be a gimmick and hooked up to Home Assistant that will dry your filament, you can check the GratKit FireFly Filament Dryer. I really do hope that you did enjoy this video, and if you did enjoy this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, because it tells YouTube that the video was good and that more people should see it. And while you are already there, check that you are subscribed. If not, hit the subscribe button so you don't miss the next videos and of course the streams. And before I end up the video, I really would like to thank all those wonderful people that are supporting me and that have become YouTube channel members. Thank you all for all of your support. But let's not forget each and every one of you who has watched, shared, liked and commented on my videos. Thank you. If you too want to support the channel, you can do so by clicking the join button down below and becoming a YouTube channel member for only €2 or $2 per month. Or you can go to my merchandise store and get something there. Last but not least, you can always send me super thanks, and I will be super thankful for that. I'll be seeing you next time. Until then, bye bye and have fun.